Welcome, Pathfinders, to our continued coverage of the PaizoCon 2019. I am here with visionary artist Wayne Reynolds, the creator of basically every iconic character that you love. So how is the PaizoCon going for you, Wayne?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. I think the last time I was in PaizoCon was 5 or 6 years ago. That was when it was still up in Redmond. So the conventions got bigger since then. But it's really good. There's a really good vibe. There's people here that are passionate about the games and they're here to play games, and just kind of really stoked about being here. So it's a nice, pleasant atmosphere. You can pick up on the enthusiasm.
Absolutely, and you can just hear it in the room while we're sitting here. And of course, you created the look of Pathfinder the First Edition. You were brought back in to create the new look for Pathfinder Second Edition. And of course, you had a number of wonderful interviews with Eric Mona talking about your redesign for all the characters. What did you kind of...
I hate looking at myself on camera, and when I look at the stuff back, do I sound like that? God, I'm doing it again, and I move my hands a lot when I speak, and I'm like going like this. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? So I'm gonna put my hands down here. I'll end up moving them around. Look.
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
You're absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. I feel the same way every time I hear myself on mic. So I mean, how did you feel about reinventing your old work, revisiting your old work, and then updating it with over a decade's experience now?
It's like an itch, being able to scratch an itch. There were certain things over the years that I'd kind of wanted to change, and the stuff that myself and the Paizo design team had talked about, the issues that needed addressing. So it was a marvelous opportunity, really, to kind of fix some of the things that I felt didn't quite work with the original Iconics, because I'm doing it with hindsight. So some of the original Iconics were done when Galarian didn't even exist. Yes. And some of the Iconics were maybe a little bit generic, but as Galarian's grown, it's kind of, I've wanted to put more and more of Galarian into the Iconics, to sort of like basically build upon the setting and the world, to kind of tie it all in. So yeah, it's been pretty good being able to do it. It's also been really quite frustrating too, because and especially with the kind of poses as well. Because some of the original poses, they still work. Yeah. So I was having to come up with new poses. Kept drifting back to that original pose and going, oh, damn it, no, I can't do this, I've got to do something different. And the difference this time round is, although I used reference for the first time with the original Iconics, this time I've been using live models. So that's brought a different aspect to it. So some of the Iconics, their expressions, they're a little bit more expressive now.
If I may mention, Amiri particularly is far more, I think, barbarian. That look, that almost haunted look in her eyes.
Yeah, like a really feral look.
Yes.
I wanted Amiri to have a kind of more rangy, feral look, like that she'd not been eating, that she's kind of living right on the edge, and it's that kind of like survival instinct. I don't know if you've kind of like apparently the times when you're most creative is when you're hungry, so just before lunch or just before dinner, and it's kind of like it's supposedly like a hunting thing. So when you're hungry, your senses become sharper. So it was kind of like back in the day, when humankind kind of roamed the plains and hunted animals. So I kind of wanted to capture that sort of hungry, feral, rangy look.
Yeah.
That you kind of like look at her and go, oh, look at the poor thing, she's not eaten in days, and then she rips your throat out, and kind of like, not just with her hands, with her teeth, because she's just kind of like that so hungry, just so hungry. And the idea that you'd have her in your party, but you're not sure whether that'd be a good thing or not, because she'd take out the enemy, but she might take out you as well. So. Yeah, I kind of wanted to convey that, and my artwork as well has quite extreme juxtapositions. I like playing with extreme shapes and differences. So yeah, it's Amiri sort of typifies that quite a lot.
And all the redesigns and everything else that you've made have been beautiful. And you've shaped so much of the look and the design for Paizo, and you're a gamer yourself.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I love to have in our interviews is to ask people to tell me a bit about a character, either your favorite character or a character that you're playing now, to share with the audience.
Oh. Well, probably the character that most people are familiar with is Crow, the Blood Rager, who is he's based on the character that I played in Curse of the Crimson Throne. So I played a barbarian in Curse of the Crimson Throne, and I drew him, and I just showed it to Sarah, the art director. I says, "Oh, this is my character," and she looked at it and she went, "Oh, well, we've got a character coming up that kind of that might fit." So I did a new piece of artwork for the Blood Rager to kind of make it fit more, with kind of like the Blood Rager. But the Blood Rager is my character. Yay!
So it's funny you mentioned that, because in a previous interview we did with James Jacobs, he talked about one of the greatest things of being a boss up at Paizo is that he could actually write one of his characters into a story and have Wayne Reynolds draw that character for him. And so you kind of did it in reverse, where you had your own character in the setting and then got them to insert it into canonical lore as the iconic Blood Rager.
Yes. I mean, yeah. Working on Pathfinder is a really I'm really pleased and happy that I'm lucky that I'm able to work on Pathfinder, because it's my job, but it's also my hobby too. And I'm getting to contribute to a game that that I love and that I'm passionate about. So it's I'm happy about that. I consider myself fortunate.
Well, I think I speak for all of us that we are fortunate that Paizo managed to retain your talents for both the creation of Pathfinder and then Pathfinder Second Edition, bridging the gap artistically between the two, so that we're coming in. It's a new system, but it feels like home. So on behalf of all of us, thank you for this wonderful interview. And until next time, good luck, Pathfinders.